Yeah, play that back.
Do you prefer live or studio?
Honestly, I think studio. Like, I love performing and I love like, you know, doing live shows and things, but I don't know. I feel like my skills are so much better suited to the studio.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, that's great. Yeah, I'm glad to hear another perspective on it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, you slay it live as well.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah.
But
I try.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
But you vibe really well in here.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like that's your element.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I prefer my studio way more than going to a different studio because I hate the fact that I don't know. It's not that I don't know what things do because I do know what a big analog desk does and I do understand all the knobs and things and I understand all of that stuff. But because I'm not there every day, 14 hours a day, day in, day out, using the same things and plugging the same things into the same things, it's like, okay, well, there's that first little bit of anxiety and frustration where it's like, I just wanted to do this thing.
Yeah.
Why is it so difficult for it to do this one
Any step
thing?
in between brain and creativity is just fuck it off.
If we could just have a thing where like the next DAW comes out and it's just basically like a transmitter that connects here and just goes straight into the
imagine?
Oh my god.
That's not that. I don't think that's far away, to be honest. I give it 10 years.
Apple, hurry up. Honestly, like,
let's do it.
Just
Well, it's interesting you say that about like, the little frustrations. I'm reading a book at the moment called The One Thing, and it goes into that. It's along like willpower.
Yeah.
And the BS behind that, but it's closely aligned to that with creativity. And it's, the more you have, like, your brain's a muscle. You can't work it 24/7, whereas people think that the brain is this superhuman machine. But same thing with that. If you're coming into a studio and you're even wasting like a couple of extra thoughts, it's going to fuck with your creativity, fuck with your style. So that makes total sense. Like, you come in and for you, this area is like, this would be like like breathing to you.
Yeah,
you don't think about it.
I know how everything works.
Yeah.
And I know what I have to do and I know what it sounds like and things like that. Like I had a session at 301 on Thursday and it was a new artist that I'd never worked with before and her manager who I'd only spoken to a couple of times briefly. So there was all this added pressure.
It's a lot.
Where, you know, if we did the session here, that extra pressure would be zero. Because sure, it's a new client or whatever, but the space is a nice vibe. It's relaxing and things like that. Whereas sometimes, you know, like you go into studios and it feels a little bit almost not clinical, but like a little bit straight.
Yeah.
Like it's very just everything's sharp. Everything's like cool. It's nice. But it's like there's all of a sudden just this added pressure where you sort of have to like get out of your own head and be like, it's exactly the same. There's just a couple different knobs. And like, you know, it took about like, I think it took me like 10, 15 minutes to get just used to the new setting.
Yeah.
And after that, it was fine, whatever, you know, because I took from the last session I had at 301, I knew what I had to bring. I knew what they didn't have. Things like a MIDI keyboard and all the extra little things that, you know, you coming to your own spot you don't even think of.
Yeah.
So I did all that and I was like, okay, well that made it a little bit easier. But then there's also just the adjusting time. So I think it was like 15 minutes and then got into it. Played some bangers.
The ads.